Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the instant match reaction. Aston Villa 3, Everton 0. Everton going down to their first defeat of the season. And it really all took place in 10 minutes, didn't it? 10 mad minutes. Very much like the game on Monday night against Burnley for us. This time we were on the other end of it. And I honestly thought for 60 odd minutes of this game, I thought we did okay. And ironically, when they scored the goal, that's probably when we were in our best little spell of form, when we were picking the ball up in midfield, when we were breaking them down. And they caught us with a sucker punch. Not to say they didn't have chances before that, of course they did. They had a set piece early in the first half, which made a good save. Which the keeper made a good save. But obviously set pieces was going to be big today and proved to be. And the goal, just before they scored, Gray had a great chance, just put it wide. And I thought we looked very, very comfortable at that point. I thought we looked very, very comfortable in the game. But it was telling that Rondon had just gone off and Iwobi had gone into a false nine. And I think we just couldn't get the ball to stick at any point after Rondon had gone off. It's why it's so important. You have to have a forward on the pitch. It's why we got beat so heavily against Manchester United in our last pre-season game. You don't have a centre forward who's the focal player for you. Then it can be tough. But we listen. The goals, the worst thing is the goals are all so poor. That's the worst thing. The goals are all so poor. Villa, of course, will love them and think they're amazing, but they were terrible. Dean, for their first goal, was absolutely shocking to be had off by Cash the way he was. You've got to win your battles in football. You've got to win your individual battles, and he didn't. And it was almost like he didn't realise that the lad was going to do that, but. You get the job done whichever way you can, and he let him get through far too easily. And once he got into the box, there was far too much space as well for him to hit the shot, and you're 1-0 behind. And then the problem is that we concede the goal so quickly. We again, that's where you don't have a centre forward for it to stick. You don't have anyone up front where you can go long, and we give away a corner. And to be fair, it's a great whipped in ball. They brought on Bailey at that point. It's a great whipped in ball, and it's I don't know whether it's poor communication or what, but for me the keeper can see it. The keeper, has got his eyes on it. Dean is always stretching. Someone there should be telling Dean maybe not to go for it, because Dean is always going to flick it on. It's a great ball, and he stretches for it and heads it backwards. And the keeper's caught in no man's land, and before you know it, it's 2-0. And the third goal is absolutely abysmal. Again, what Ben Godfrey is doing there, so far inside, when Bailey's on the other side of the pitch, and all it took was a ball, and nothing ball out to him. Bailey's got all the freedom of the park to run into space and just smashes it into the back of the net. And the three really, really poor goals in 10 minutes. Really, really poor. And it's really annoying, because I thought we played all right up to that. I thought, if Gray's effort goes in, then it's a completely different game. But that's football. The same happened to us on Monday when we played Burnley. 5 minutes of madness for us, and there it is. There it is. And listen, people can say what they want about Bailey and us missing out on Bailey. We simply didn't have the money to buy Bailey this summer. We didn't have the money to buy anyone. And again, with Godfrey playing right back, that shows where, again, we missed up on a backup right back, or maybe a first choice right back, and we've had to put someone in there. And I said before the game, this is what will bite us this season. It's what bites most teams who are not in the top four, is the squad. If you don't have a strong squad, you will find yourself in games like this where after an hour, you're not bringing on a forward to replace a forward, and that's what's going to happen. If you haven't got a backup right back and you have to shoehorn someone in, you can get away with it in some games, but unfortunately you can't. Unfortunately, in some games you can't, and that's what's told today. That's what's told. I don't think we played particularly bad, apart from a really, really bad 15-minute spell or a bad 10-minute spell, where the substitutes made the difference. We did not have the substitutes to bring on today. All the players were on the pitch because of the injuries we've got. Now, listen, should we have a better squad? Should we have more players on the bench? Yes, we should have. We should have an amazing bench considering the money we spent in the last few years. Of course we should. We should have an absolutely brilliant squad and a brilliant bench, but we don't. And that's the reality of the situation. So what makes me laugh when you get beaten games like this is how suddenly you get all the people suddenly talking about Marcel Brands and the fact that James Rodriguez wasn't on the bench and all this. It's utter nonsense. It doesn't mean anything in this game. This game was on poor decisions on the pitch, poor defending from Luca Dean, poor defending from Ben Godfrey. The poor decision making from a set piece. That's where you've got to look at what's really going on when you're playing the game. All the other stuff is the larger picture. If you're not prepared to shout about why James Rodriguez wasn't on the bench for the last game when we won, then why are you asked if he was on the bench or not for this game? Simple as that. And the manager didn't get it wrong, and anyone in the comments who says Rafa Benitez got it wrong tonight, you're talking out your arse. You're talking out your absolute arse. You haven't. In fact, I would go as far as say you know very little about football, because what did he get wrong? Did he get wrong Luca Dean not being able to defend? Did he get it wrong Ben Godfrey not being able to defend? Did he get it wrong a mix up on a set piece? No. Simple as that. And all these cry asses going on about James Rodriguez just make me laugh, because if he wanted to play, he'd run through brick walls like other players do, and he doesn't. So there you go. And as for chatting nonsense about Ben Godfrey, for that goal, that's basic defending. That doesn't matter if he's a right back or a centre back. That's just basic defending. Stay in your position. That's all it is. Doesn't matter if you're a right back. Doesn't matter if you're a centre forward and you're told to play right back. That's basic. For 10 minutes cost us today. 10 minutes cost us today. And otherwise, I thought professional performance. I thought first half we were very professional. I thought, we had a chance early on with Rondon. Again, if he was a little bit fitter, it may have done a little bit better. But you could tell he wasn't fit. Today. And that's the, you lose your first choice centre forward and you've got a third centre forward who's not quite fit. Then that's what happens. You need a centre forward. And we had half of one for tonight's game for 60 minutes, and then the last he went off on 61st minute. That's what happens. That's what happens. People might say, well, could have brought Ellis Sims on. Ellis Sims hasn't kicked the ball for the first team, has he? And that's it. We lost because of individual errors tonight, and because we had four of our, the goalkeeper, Seamus Coleman, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Richarlison not playing. And that's always going to be tough. And the mad thing about Luca Dean is I thought he'd been playing all right up to that goal. I thought he'd been getting forward. I thought he'd been providing good width. And he just makes a really poor decision not to be stronger on Cash when he got the opportunity. And once he's gone past them, then Michael Keane should be in that space. He's not. They're individual errors, and that's what happens. And unfortunately, Villa have scored a couple of really good goals today, and you know, the corner, they got lucky. It was a great corner, though. We have to say it was a great corner, great delivery by Bailey. And we move on. We've been beaten. It happens. You know, most teams in the Premier League have been beaten by now, you know, at least once. The problem is, it's the injuries. We got a game on Tuesday night, and that's very, very quick, considering, you know, the injuries we've got at the moment. But we move on. We've got Norwich next week at home, and you're hoping for a reaction. But, as I say, the Mari Gray's chance, if that goes in, then it's a completely different game. You know, for that spell, I think we started the second half really slowly, but we did get a grip. Once we got a grip, and we started catching them high up the pitch in the middle of the park, and we had a couple of decent opportunities, and it is what it is. It is what it is. They took the game away from us, very much like we took the game away from Burnley the other night. And we'll go away and we'll have to lick our wounds, and it's disappointing. But I've been here lots of times. You can't just you lose a game of football, you can't just chuck your hand in and say that's it, and it's all these people's faults. You know, if James Rodriguez is not on the bench, that's James Rodriguez's fault as far as I'm concerned. Because I look at our bench, and our bench was absolutely woeful, and it's one man down. So if he's not on it, then that must be on him. Because managers can hold grudges, but they're not stupid. They're not stupid enough to leave players out. So we'll wait. You know, we'll wait and see what Scott said. We'll wait and see what happens on Tuesday with the team, whether he's back, whether Gabaman's back. Richarlison looks like it could be a few weeks. Dominic Calvert-Lewin might be a couple of weeks as well. And that's it. You know, you'd start getting players injured, and suddenly it's dead easy to go, the squad's terrible. But when you've got two centre-forwards who are injured, and then your third choice centre-forward is only been at the club for a week and a half, then it's hard. I'm just focusing on the positives, which is I thought we played all right tonight, apart from a really bad 10-minute spell. Yeah, I know we've got to make sure we go to QPR, who think they got beat today at home. Got to go to QPR on Tuesday and get a result and see what happens. But yeah, it wasn't our night. It was Villa's night, and there you go. No point making excuses. There's no point making excuses about it and saying it was his fault and his fault. You know, it was the manager's fault for not having James Rodriguez on the bench. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's, you know, that's just mad. That's just mad. It's not the players who get injured fault. It is what it is. So we have to just get on with it. We've been beaten. First time this season we've been beaten. Nobody likes it, and we move on. There you go. That ultimately is life. Yeah. There you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on this one. Make sure you check out my player ratings as well, and make sure to check out which I'll be doing very, very soon. And make sure you check out Baz's reactions as well whenever they come in, because he's in Wales again. There you go. Thanks for watching, and yeah, don't. It's not the end of the world. It's just a defeat. There you go. Speak to you later.